Good afternoon, Black women. How are you? Yeah, I just decided to do a quick live since I got home last night around what time did I get in the house? Oh my god, it was so late. Like 11:30, y'all. After you land, you have to go get your bags and first you got to go through customs, then you go get your bags and stuff. Oh, I'm still tired. I'm still like jet lag tired, but I wanted to it's really sunny, like beaming in the car. I didn't want to be pardon totally blinded by the car with the sun. I had to open up the windows a little bit. New York City is doing this New York City thing. It is getting cold out in this mug. I have on my winter coat today, but I'm not dressed for winter. But I have my coat on, rest assured, right? But it's getting cold out here. It's in the 50s now. But when you walking and you know you're dealing with the breeze, yeah, it's a bit much. So, um, what I wanted to do was I wanted to come and answer any questions people might have had based off of curiosity about the different places I visited in regards to helping them prepare for their own trip. Okay, because it's easily done. I know it's during the time that people are getting off from work, so I don't expect that many people to show up to the live. But since I was on my way back from Zara, oh, there's my pendant. I was looking all over for this. Oh my goodness, I found it. So, but what I'm saying is, I was on my way back from Zara because so I spent like half of the morning washing as much of the clothes that I brought back as possible, even the blankets and the sheets. Because whenever I travel, I take my own comforter and blanket. Right? That's just me. I don't like sleeping on hotel beds. But when I have to do it to the extent that makes me comfortable. So that's normally what I do. I had the sun is beaming in my face. Sorry, but I want to stay in the car because when I get out, I gotta go pick up some jasmine rice to go with my salmon and asparagus and peppers tonight for dinner. So that's why. So anyway, uh, I wanted to tell y'all real quick that um the trip was nice, despite all of the silly shit between me and my daughter-in-law. And she just started acting like a total jerk after a while. But hey, that is a problem I see that is happening today with the youth period. Like these 30s, 20s, and even some early 40-year-olds, they have this mentality where they can't take advice from their elders, they can't respect anybody. So all of this creates problems. And like I said before, like no, they won't understand it until they're much older. That all that type of bickering, back and forwards, and having an issue with people older than them, most times it's only going to hurt you in the end because those people are normally way more established in life. They have more to offer. They definitely most times have more money, and that even includes these listen to the words I'm saying, temporary YouTube and TikTok influencers. Because any day those white people who give money to promote their products or do promotion period say, okay, we think you've run your limit and we're done. Now if you don't have a real job or real education to fall back on, you back to being extremely fucking broke. So when you play nice with everyone and you don't burn bridges, which is something that has been taught to us older women since we was yay high, is it is called civility, and it's also called being couth and having a certain level of decorum, because you know that you get more with sugar than you do with spice or sour. Especially depending on what type of background the people you have you dealing with. But anyway, um, okay, I wanted to talk about the trip. So just for my budgetistas, let me explain it to y'all. You could take trips with the third party apps like Travelocity, Expedia, Kayak, um, and there are different ones. There are some that are worldwide, like I believe Travelocity is, but I found out because we had to book a jet to get us quickly back from France to London. There are certain apps or certain planes that work specifically for specific continents. So if you're ever in Europe and you get stuck between countries the way I did day before yesterday, or Sunday rather, what you want to do is you want to look for the jets, the either the apps or the websites for whatever continent you're in. Since I was in Europe, you want to look for the European apps or jet companies that fly within Europe. So we found one that was called EasyJet, and that's a small plane company that will jet you from one country to the other in between the regular domestic and international flights, simply because they know people get stuck the way I do. And I've really tried to figure it out to understand that I think the airlines do this on purpose. It's a way to generate revenue for the airlines, because when I missed my first flight in London, right, I had to buy two more tickets. Actually, the baby, three more tickets. So when you think about it, it's money, 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 right? So when we got to France and we missed that plane, that was three more tickets. So you get the pattern here. So it behooves and it benefits these airline companies to be very strict about the different causes they have for claiming that you missed a flight and are therefore at this point not eligible for boarding. Now you could always get refunded if you have a refundable ticket. You can also get credit towards your ticket if you were not able to make the way we were stuck in traffic, right? So there's all types of things, and there's a difference, y'all. Because I know a lot of times when people talk about traveling, they don't tell you the background. I'll tell you everything, right? There's a difference when you book with the airline directly, right? Like most times when I fly, I always fly Delta. No matter if it's thinking, speaking of that, I got to go record my travel miles to get my upgrades. But anyway, I always fly with Delta. I either book the tickets separately and then book the rest of the itinerary and the stay and car or whatever the hell else it is through one of these travel websites like Expedia, Travelocity. What's the other one I always use? That's for Europe. Oh my God, Colette. Colette is like a travel engine, especially for Europe. So if you go on Colette.com, um, you'll see. So there's a few of them that you can do a lot of things with, and in there it includes like if you want to go sightseeing, the sightseeing tour buses, boats, motorcycles, spas, shopping sprees. When I say shopping sprees, they literally in certain cities and countries they have these buses that will take you from one mall to the next, depending on what you want to do, and to explain and show you that this is how they cater to their customer. All right, so um, this is the thing you got to look out for. when you book with third party, let me get this fucking notification out of here. When you book with third parties like Travelocity, you have to book the package. This is the thing they don't tell people about. You have to book packages that are not the first basic package, because the first basic package, and remember this if you don't remember anything else, right, will not allow you to upgrade your package, change your package in case you was running late the way we were, or allow you like different credits, because the basic package goes specifically by the policies of the airline. So most airlines, when they use the tickets for the third party packages, they will not allow you any courtesies, because their opinion is, we're giving you this whole package at a discounted rate and you're not paying full price for everything. So therefore, you either make it, you use it, it works for you, or you buy another ticket, or you just take what you get. All right, now in my case, I'm aware of this, right? So I never buy the basic packages. I buy the second one, where it's like a premium one or whatever. You'll see when you go on the website. You read everything, read everybody's policies, know what's going on so you don't get stranded anywhere in the world. So when I take the second package, which usually costs a little bit more, you're allowed to, the same way I did yesterday. Not yesterday, Sunday, when I knew we were in the Uber and we were running late to the airport, I went into Travelocity, I clicked it, and I said, change itinerary, upgrade itinerary. So we upgraded everything. We got a new package. You know what the problem was? In Europe, they're very fucking strict when it comes to them shutting down boarding and shutting down the flight. I'm so very used to and accustomed to America. I figured if I could get there like an hour 15 within, the flight taking off, I'll be good. No, sir. No, ma'am. They don't play that shit. When they say you better be there, what was it, an hour and a half or something like that before takeoff? If you are not fucking checked in before that time, which I was not, they will not fucking let you on that plane. Money upgrading, changing my freaking itinerary just to get to the next, to be rolled over. I thought to be rolled over to the next flight. Oh fuck no. When I got there, they was like, no, you can't do that. You can't. We already shut it down. So by the time you tried to upgrade, it was shut down. So you were gonna have to buy another ticket, and that's exactly what the fuck I had to do. So I'm telling y'all, and unless you got like thousands of dollars just to waste, don't do it, because the initial trip for the three of us cost like 4,000 and change, right? No big deal. So then buying the extra tickets, that was an extra $2,000 extra, because it wasn't like I had to pay for everything all over again. I had to pay one way for us to get the fuck out of there. So each one of those tickets was like over $700. Y'all understand what I'm saying? All right. So a little bit more than 2,000, but you get the point. So when we got back to London from France, we had to rush, right? Because we couldn't get another, and that's another thing, y'all. You gotta remember, it's not America. So a lot of these countries, they don't have flights like all the time, all day, all night. It's like every a certain flight, a certain number of flights per week, per day, that type of shit. So we got stuck in between the last flight for the day and having to wait till the next morning. And that's how we jumped on the jet. So anyway, we get back to London. I'm telling the cab driver, listen, we literally are trying to make this 10:50 flight. It was fucking 9 o'clock, y'all. I should have already knew we was going to fuck up, because remember, I just told you, and we was already told the day before, that if you don't make that fucking deadline during the time to check in and to make your flight, they don't give a fuck about what you're saying. And that's what happened to us again, y'all. So we got all the way to the fucking airport at what was it, like 10 minutes before 10 o'clock. The lady was like, "Nope, you needed to be here 25 minutes earlier." I was just so frustrated with this bullshit at this point, right? Because I know I'm like, okay, here come the bullshit with another ticket. So since I fly with them all the time, I'm a member, right? So I said, listen, can I get any kind of courtesy? I said, because I am a Delta member, right? So like, okay, they looked me up. She's like, all right. She said, what we can do is we will search one of our sister airlines, which have, and I didn't even know this. Like I knew that Air France and British Airways and stuff, they partner with Delta, right? And when they partner with each other and they say sister airlines, it just means that they have some sort of contractual merging with each other where they can take each other's customers and they can accommodate customers. That's all that means. And sometimes one major owner owns either all of them or a portion of all of them. Anyway, um, so it was British Airlines, Virgin, Air France, and Delta. We was hopping on and off of, and the jet. 5 different airlines hopping on and off. Y'all got so tired of taking off and fucking landing. I don't know what to do. But after a while, I had did it so much in a matter of 2 days. I had got so used to it, it didn't even bother me. It normally bothers me when we take off. My stomach feels funny because the ascension. And then when we descend, that bothers me a little too, like on a roller coaster. But since we was doing it like so much, after a while I was just like, can we just get this shit up in the air, land, and let's get where we gotta go, right? All right. We finally spoke to, I had to speak to like 5 different people before I got to, and this is important for y'all to know. I got to the ticket manager. They call her Red Coat in Delta. I got to her. And I even was calling my son because my son is a supervisor um, in Delta and JFK. And he was telling me all the people to get in touch with so I could get some service. So I finally got the manager. And I'm like, listen, we need to get back to New York City. We cannot afford to get stuck in Europe. I have to go to work Thursday. She has to go to work tomorrow, which was today. We got to get out of here, right? All right. My son actually called one of the managers internationally that he knows. I mean, this is just an extra step. You don't have to go through all of this. And so when that happened, then the lady got way more courteous. Even though I'm not saying that she wasn't courteous before, because she absolutely was, because she didn't have to entertain us, but she did. She listened, she understood the situation, and she said, "Oh, I can understand." Plus, we had my grandson with me, or with us, and I was explaining to her, you know, this is his birthday trip because he turned 6, and it's like we wanted to take him to, as I showed you guys, this serious dinosaur exhibit in London that we have found online, and we know this kid loves dinosaurs. So he was just over the top about his birthday, visit to the museums with an S, and his dinosaurs and stuff like that he got. Plus, he got like all these books and things like that with him, and putting him in a movie with the dinosaurs because the museum was doing all. So it was a lot of stuff this kid did. Plus all of the different sightseeings, and we went to this Italian restaurant where a friend of mine who actually lives in the south of France had suggested to us, and we went there, and they do like a birthday celebration. So we had them sing. They sung "Happy Birthday" in Italian. I didn't understand one word, but I really liked it. And they had great food. I mean, really great food. Some of the food that I ate there I had never ate before in my life, but it was delicious. Like I had some sort of what did they call it? Oh my goodness. It was some type of steak where it was a porterhouse steak, but it was, what did they say? Honey smoked it was so good. It was good, okay? And then of course, we had different desserts and stuff like that. And for my second course, I had like some type of salmon. I don't even know. I just know it was fish, salmon. I ate that. It was really good. The baby had like what babies normally eat, which is like some type of spaghetti, and then he had some type of ziti. It was pretty good, and he had, of course, all this ice cream and gelato. And they let him have his own special slice of the house restaurant cake, which was cool. So we did that, and then we did more running around in London and stuff before we started to head back. The last place we went to in London was Soho. And I had to see Soho because New York City has a Soho based off of the Soho in London. We also have a Greenwich Village based off of the one in London. And like everything here in New York City is based off of London. Most of our streets, most of our landmarks, etc., based off of London. Like in London, I forget the name of the square. Everybody knows the square in Paris, which is the what do they call it? What is it called? Something of Triumph? The circle or square of Triumph? I believe it's called the Square of Triumph. The guy told me the other day, but my mind it does I can't recall it. Anyway, we have one here in New York City in the Village. So like when you go to the Village and you go to Westford Park, we call it Westford Park here, like, but it's West 4th Street Park in the Village, in Greenwich Village. When you walk through that park, there is the European it's like a big square arc where you enter the park, and it is replica or reminiscent of both of the arcs in London and in Paris. And those arcs were put there. They're put in each country as they were forts for soldiers who were like the first line of defense when it came to attacks against the country. And even things like the Eiffel Tower, right? Or you guys say Eiffel Tower, that is used as a scout. Like the soldiers would look at go to the top of those fixtures and look out across the country as far as they could see to see where the invasion was coming from. And then they would, respond as a result. So all those type of things that they have there, somewhere in New York, you're going to find the same thing. And so a lot of the things here where I used to always, hang around and go to as a person in my youth or a youth, I would I wanted to go see in London. Like Soho has always been a thing for me. Like back when I was in high school, Soho used to be the place like me and my friends would go, and before we even knew what like tea restaurants were and spas and stuff like that, they had this type of stuff in Soho. So we used to go down there and look at all of the you know, personally hand tailored shops where you walk into the boutiques and they actually fit you like they used to do. And well, not used to, they still do it in Italy where the tailor is there and they actually take your measurements and make the actual item for you. You show them, you look through the samples, you actually look through swatches of material, and then you come back in whatever amount of time they tell you your clothing article will be ready. And Soho was doing that shit like back in the 80s because I was in high school in the 80s. So they were doing that in the 80s. And we would go down there and we would go get like our leather jackets detailed to personally detailed and fitted to our bodies and just all types of stuff. And back then, I don't know if this magazine is still around, but it used to be a magazine that all of us girls used to read. It was called Elle Magazine, and Elle Magazine used to give like all of the fashion and stuff from Paris and London. So we would, always read that magazine along with Mademoiselle and 17 and Young Miss. And it was quite a few others. But this was all for us to like, go through those adolescent years of finding our character, our essence of the personality we wanted to develop and to eventually become. And so this is what we did. And Soho was the only place where you could get kind of like this avant-garde type of experience and sort of like peek into the future because they were so fashion forward at the time. Yeah, so that's what we did. And so all those type of memories and things like that was in my head when I was there. So I wanted to see these things up close and in person. And I really had a good time. And let me tell you guys, all that shit that you guys see these women on TikTok pretending like they're living this life of luxury and all this shit, when you really go there, you will literally see these stores, brick and mortar, in front of you to go into and see all the things they offer and how a lot of that stuff is not at all like what you see them advertising on these platforms. I mean, it was just so much stuff. Like, I've seen people here in New York, they walk around with this thing called Kiss. I don't know what it's how you say it. It's KITH. And these sneakers that they wear that are from London or UK is like Veja or something like that. Is VEJA. That store was out there. I've seen girls like when I'm coming home from work at night, or if my express bus, I see them when they come up from the train and walk on the train block. They'll have these things, these bags, and it says ordinary or something like that. There was a whole shop, a whole fucking store in London. And it was like a lot of the stuff that I saw on TikTok was literally all over Soho in London. That's the point I'm trying to make. And here, like in New York City, I've only seen like products of the stuff in specific stores, not the actual store itself. So it clicked to me like, oh, that's what that is. And I didn't even know they had a big old store like this and da da da. Of course, because when you're over there, all the type of stuff that we get here that we consider like a luxury, that shit is secondhand. Nobody gives a fuck about it over there. Like, let me tell y'all, I had to buy a new car because I had my Land Rover for like 15 years. I was trying to keep it for 20, but my dumb ass left the sunroof open and it rained hard and the shit destroyed my computer to my car. So any of you guys that know anything about Range Rovers, or it's actually Land Rovers, the company, Range Rovers style. But anyway, or a model, you can't fuck up the computer. If you fuck up the computer, you might as well just buy a new car because it's going to cost you more than the cost of another car to get that fixed. So I gave that away to I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of Wounded Warriors. It's a foundation for a charity foundation for veterans. So I gave it to them, and then I just bought another Subaru, which I'm sitting in now. And I had a hatchback Subaru too that, like you have it in case of you need to do a lot of shopping and shit, or you need to do heavy lifting and stuff like that. I had Subaru, but my other daughter, she drives that most of the time. So now I just got another Subaru for me. And only because they swear that they're supposed to be so safe. I've not found out yet and don't want to, but that's the reason why I get them. So anyway, what else was I gonna say? Yeah, so trip was good, but I just was like trying to tell you guys that don't kill your dreams of believing in the hype of like, oh, it's such a magical place and da da da, because you need that inside of you, within your spirit and your soul, to keep you motivated to get up to the point where you do those things second nature like it's nothing. But keep in mind that this is a real world we live in, and that just because people say something is cute, beautiful, and pretentiously more worth something else, that's not true. Because I've been to that goddamn Paris quite a few times, and each time I've had a problem, even this time. And I'm not just talking about the missed flights. I'm talking about the rudeness of the people, the nastiness of the culture of the country, the disrespectful shit they say under their breath and to your face when they don't think you speak French, right? Like, that is the thing about that place that gets all the way up under my skin and under my nerves, because I really fucking hate that. And so, um, that's one of the issues I had with her, because, like, I know how they are. And so she was just starry eyed about, oh, it's Paris. And I'm like, fuck Paris. That's my mentality, because I've had so much shit with them. It's not even funny. So, I mean, to the point where I'm surprised I'm not barred from the country, because I always have an issue with these fucking people in customs. But anyway, like, this time was ridiculous. They have this new scan machine now where they scan your feet, your arms, your body, even your fucking hair. Like, it was like, how, okay, what the fuck else y'all gonna scan? I done been over here with this machine like almost 20 minutes. It keep fucking beeping. I don't have anything on me. Why y'all keep fucking with me? Leave me alone. But, and this is what I was going through. So, but anyway, we finally got past that bullshit. We get out and we're at the Eiffel Tower, and, you know, the people, most people that are there at, like, the vendors and who actually work in the shops and sell stuff in the restaurants, they can speak English. But a lot of the people, like, when you go to hotels or just within the country, they don't speak a lot of English. They speak a broken English or very little. So anyway, she went to go get pizza. I'm talking about my grandson's mother. And so she was asking me, like, looking back and saying, oh, the lady is saying this, that, and the other. What's she saying? So I said, she's asking you, do you want a small, medium, or large, right, with the pizza? So she tells her in English, and so I tell her, no, you got to say this, that, the other. So she says it, right? So then as this goes on, like, and this is to show you how fucking rude they are, right? Nasty and shit. I'm talking about these fucking Parisians, right? So anyway, the black lady behind the counter says to me, why don't you just come over here and place the order instead of telling her what to say from on the bench? I said, what? Why don't you just do your goddamn job and fucking listen? I'm not getting up from nowhere. How about that? I mean, that's type shit I'm talking about. And they mad rude. They have no patience. Y'all think I'm bullshit until you get over there and experience. But me telling you the truth does not mean I don't want you to experience it. I want you to go see. Because I think if more people go over there and more people, you know, have to voice their opinions about how fucking nasty they are to people, period, maybe they'll change. Like, I don't understand. I understand they have the right to say who comes to their country and what they do with tourism, but they just have they need to change their culture. Their mannerisms and their communication with other people is the worst ever. I mean, the worst ever. Now, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Me going to London. How far ago was it? It was like, let's see. Okay, so this is October. So remember, y'all, it was like July and August that UK was losing their motherfucking minds, right? They was over there attacking Muslim people and African people because they was foreigners, right? Remember that shit? They beat up the people after every football tournament when they get mad. But the reason this shit kicked off in the UK was because that British-born African Muslim boy killed 3 little white girls. Y'all remember that shit in the end of July going into August? All right. Anyway, I was supposed to go over there like in August, or I think July. I think I had chose July. Whatever the time it was I was supposed to go, like a week before that shit kicked off, and it took like a month or two for that shit to calm the fuck down. Even in September, it was still like little bits of attacks here and there, to the point where I tell you guys, anytime before I travel, I check the American travel website to tell me if it's safe for Americans to go anywhere or whatever it is they doing. So when I went on to travel, .state.gov, it had told me, no, UK is okay. You just have to exercise extreme caution, right? So I said, okay, I get it. But to my surprise, because I had never been to London before, right? I've been to other places in the UK, but never London, right? They were very nice. When I say very nice, like, the first thing I saw about London, this huge city in the UK, right? With people coming and living there from all over the world. The interactions of the people, the courtesy, the civility was amazing. Like, I've never seen anything like that in my entire life or in any other country I've been in, and I've been in 7 countries in this world. And counting. So I was marveled at that, because when you walk down the street, they actually stop, give way. If you drop something, they help you pick it up. They open doors for you. They hold doors for you. It's just like regular, everyday common sense courtesy, but they do it with efficiency to the point where the whole country has normalized being courteous to their neighbor or their fellow person. Now, that's how they are mostly. But what happens when people get angry or shit happens, that's human nature. So I'm in no way trying to say that, they're just the greatest people and scratch or forget what happened when they were actually attacking people, because I'm not saying that, right? But it was my experience, tourist experience in this country, to be racially not giving service or racially I can't say discriminated, but racially disparaged by just giving disparate treatment by Muslim people in London. There was like 2 Sikh people that owned stores that was really cool, so we went to their stores instead. But most of the Islamic people that own stores, whether they were Indian, I don't know, whatever else they may have been, Pakistani, whatever, they were so fucking rude to us as Black people and disrespectful to us as women, where, I don't tolerate shit like that. So I had to get a little fucking nasty back. And, I told her, I said, you don't spend money with anybody that disrespects you. He's trying to be disrespectful, put that shit back on the counter. There are other stores we can go to. We don't pay for disrespect. So that was an issue. But then I found out that through, like looking on their internet and asking people, the other Black people I saw in London when I really got to London Center, which is where, like, I saw all the London that I like to see. It was cleaner, it was prettier, it was way more flashy, it was way more active. It reminded me of New York City. I was like, oh shit, we done found it. I said, this is the spot. We done found it. This is what I came here for. Okay. But where our hotel was, it was in a place called Hounslow, in London, Hounslow, London. Don't ever go there. Don't ever, 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 ever go there, because it's a shitty neighborhood. It looks poor. It's dirty. It's disgusting. It's worse than New York City with the pigeon shit everywhere. The only thing it didn't have that we have here is all the rats. But that fucking place was terrible. Disgusting. Now, the hotel, of course, was not. It's a hotel. They're going to be kept up because they want to make money, and it's a business. But when I'm talking about the neighborhood, the people's personal homes, it was like we walked down the street, right? Because over there they call the subway the tube, right? And I think I put a partial video up of you guys seeing me on the train, right? So we went to what they call their, it was on the Piccadilly line, right? Because over there they have like 5 or 6 major lines, subway lines. Like here in New York City, we have about 4 or 5 as well. We have the IRT lines, and then we have the number lines, and I forget the regular ones that I drive every day, like the F, not every day, ride every day, like the R, the F, the E, and all that type of shit. I forget. So anyway, we were on the Piccadilly line, and we were on our stop where we had our hotel was Hounslow Central. No, Hounslow West. Yeah, Hounslow West Station. So when we got on that particular line branched into the other 5 at different stops, the same way every other train does. Like, you could get the other stations from whatever stop you got to get to transfer. So anyway, we went all the way to, where did we take that train to? We took that train to the first museum. Then we took Ubers to the other few museums that were away from where we were. Then we went back to where we were because there were 4 other museums in the area. They had a science museum. They had all these other museums. We went there as well. So it was like culture day. And then we went to one spot. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like individual artists that would put up their work. We went there to see that. And then we saw some like fashion presentation, which was really nice. And that was just done by local people in the area, want to be up and coming designers. That was really nice. And then, we ate at nice restaurants. We was gonna get ready to take in a show, but the baby couldn't sit through it, so we didn't do that. And that was that day when I had put all that stuff up. But why was I saying all of this? The train station. Say about the train station. Don't ever go to that area. That area was so horrible. It was crazy. Like, the people weren't overtly rude, but they were disgusting when you went into the stores to buy things because they felt like they made you feel like they didn't want you there. And doing that dumb shit they always do, like trying to follow black people around, like we gonna steal. Motherfucker, I don't need nothing out your store. Not that bad, And how can I forget this part? Me with my H&M self, right? And Zara. Anywhere I go, I look for H&M and Zara. Zara, not so much, but I must have an H&M, right? Because a lot of the stuff that I wear, I need to be fucking sponsored by H&M because almost everything I wear is H&M, except for when it's specific designer pieces. But anyway, we go to H&M, right? I got this really fucking nice skirt that goes all the way down to my ankles, right? I'm not getting out of the spot, whoever you are. So, but anyway, it goes all the way down to my ankles, and it is so thick for winter. I'm going there to get this, going up to the cash register to buy it. And I get it, and the guy is like, "Oh, is that all you have?" I'm like, "Are you working here? You the cashier?" No. I said, "So then why are you asking me something like that?" "Oh, I'm security." I said, "Okay, that's fine. All right." I said, "So then I guess you should go secure whatever else is going on in the store because I took this off the rack and now I'm getting ready to go pay for it. So what's the problem?" "Oh, no. I just wanted to know if you were finished shopping." I said, "Did you ask everybody else in here if they were finished shopping? Or is it just me because I'm a black person?" No. I said, "Excuse me, please." And I just walked past him and went and did what I had to do. So that was H&M. I didn't like that shit. Okay. Then we went to right across the street. You see how I showed y'all how in London we have TJ Maxx. They have TK Maxx, right? So we went across the mall to TK Maxx and we go in, and I have like one nice luggage that I bought a long time ago in the airport. And I seem to always buy luggage in the airport, right? So I had asked my son, because my son had come over the day before I left, if he had an old suitcase, because my son lives around the corner from me. So he was like, "Yeah, I'll bring you one of the old ones we used to use when we went to college, because that's all he had. Because he has these other ones that kind of like duffel, but you can roll them. I didn't want that. So anyway, he brought me a black one, but it's real old, right? It looks old. So when I took that one with me, when I went into TK, right, Max, I went upstairs and I was looking for those heavy, durable roller suitcases with the outside where if you throw it around, it won't get damaged. I bought one of them. So when we were on our way out, she had my grandson's mother had also bought some stuff too as well, and her package rang. So listen to the scenario. So as her package rang, because they left one of those security things on it, he found it. He understand. He disabled it. They took it off. While we're going through that, we're standing there. He's still there with us, right? Excuse me. There were like people coming in and out the store ringing the same way. I mean, one lady walked through the thing, was like, she kept right on walking, didn't even stop. Another person came in. Okay. So the point is, he's worrying about us because we're black. He's got to look through everything, get the receipt, go back to the counter. But the 3 or 4 women that left with the same, he didn't do shit. He didn't look. He just let them walk out. A couple of them walked in, the shit rang. Her and I looking at each other like, do you see this shit? All these motherfuckers walking in and out, this shit ringing just the same, but he's so fucking fixated on us. Like, okay, that's why I tell you don't go to that area. Because they were all Indian or some type of Muslim, and I don't know what the fuck it is with Asian people that are either Indian or whatever type of Indian looking Muslim, because it's like they look just like black people, and some of them are blacker than black people, literally fucking. And they're the biggest fucking racially prejudiced fucking people on the face of the earth. It makes no sense, because believe me when I tell you, if you took me and put me in Tunisia, if you took me and you put me in um where is it, like a lot of dark, I mean, shit, I can go into the south of India. I would fit in perfectly. Also, Qatar. I could fit into any African country. Any African country. It does not matter whether it's north, south, east, or west, because they like to think that the North Africans look so white when they don't. Right? You could put me in any of them fucking places or any of them countries in Africa and understand what I'm saying, because there is no such thing as the Middle East. That's Africa. There is no Middle East of anything. There's 7 continents, and when you're over there near Africa, you're either in Africa or Asia. Because Africa, after those two, you're either in Europe or North America. So don't let them fool you with that Middle East shit, because there is no fucking such thing. So I can fit into any of those countries. Literally just the way I look. I don't have to change nothing about me. And if I did not talk and I was walking with a whole bunch of Tunisian women with curly hair and dark skin and slanted eyes with black lashes, you would not know the fucking difference between me and them unless I spoke or whatever, right? Same thing with an Indian woman. There are Indian women that look like me and darker than me with Negro features like me, or so-called Negro features, because I'm African descent and they are literally African because they live in the continent of Africa, right? There's no difference besides the culture, the language, and how I was raised. So I'm looking at these people and all this is going on in my head, and I'm looking at this dude who looks just like me, except for he's some type of whatever culture, right? Because of the language. And I'm saying to myself, he's so fucking racially prejudiced and his skin is darker than mine. I'm like, he's really bugging. But it's a mentality, because people all over this world have absorbed whiteness as being something preferable, when it is the ugliest skin to everybody else's skin on the face of this earth, because everybody else has color and everybody else has a muscular texture to their skin that makes them look so very different. and beautiful at the same time. So, but anyway, that's why I'm telling you, I wouldn't fuck with Hanslow. Hanslow could go suck 3 dicks because it was the worst experience ever. Now, the rest of London gets 25 thumbs up, especially central London. So, when you're searching black women and you're looking to go to the UK, make sure you put central London in there, because central London is around where you're gonna see all of the tourist attractions like Big Ben, the Palace Jewels. We went and we seen all that shit. London Bridge, all that shit is in that area. Okay? Or they call it London Center, London City. That it's and the hotels down there, which if I would have known, because everything you can't learn from the internet, because the internet don't tell you everything. Some shit you gotta actually get the real knit, grit, and grind behind it from people who actually know the area. So this is why I'm telling you all this. Like, don't fuck up and do what I did. Make sure you get close to where the action is, so you can have a really good time and can see the best part of wherever you're going, especially if it's London, the way that you need to. Because I gotta honestly tell you, the white people in London were way fucking cooler, nicer, and more human than all the other fucking people there, including the black people. I'm dead serious. They spoke like good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Okay, can I help you with that? Let me get that for you. Blah, 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 blah. When we were on the plane going from London to Paris, I was sitting in the window seat, and it was another lady and the gentleman at the aisle, in the aisle seat. So, and then my grandson and his mother, they had 2 private seats in front of me, because the plane we was on was one of those planes where if you ever be on a plane, sometimes it's not so big, and you have the single seats in first class where people just sit there, and then they have the what is it, 1 seat, 2 seats, and two on the other side, right? Okay, that's type plane I was on. I don't know what you call them, because there's all different types of models of planes that fly, right? So I was in a 3 seat row. She was in the 2 seat on the first side of the right hand side, right? And so I was like in the third row, whatever, sitting with these two strangers. So, because whenever we booked the seats, we always booked her and the baby together, and I would sit by myself. And I did that for more than one reason. One, sometimes I need my space from people, because I'm very particular and very temperamental when it comes to certain things. Like, you know, my temperance is, I guess, depending on how I feel or what's going on at the time. So I can go from like being really, really cool to being really, really like I don't want to be bothered. Let me just go over here and be by myself. And it's a me thing, and it's also a my sign thing, because that's how Pisces is. Like, we really don't need people. We love our own company, and we love like our own fucking world we live in. And we really do live in a world of our own. And it has nothing to do with that silly shit. I always see all these stupid fucking tarot card readers on YouTube and shit talking about we're not stupid, we're not crazy, we're not delusional, we're not dreamers. We like the security of ourselves. We know ourselves better than we know anyone else. We're an authority on ourselves. So we know, like, when people are giving us vibes like they don't really fuck with us like that, or they want to start shit, or they don't like us, or they're looking for problems, or they are the problem, we remove ourselves. We go somewhere else. Because we're type people, and I know you can tell it from my personality. Like, I'm cool, and I don't fuck with nobody or nothing till they fuck with me. And then when they fuck with me and they cross that line, now I'm down to do any fucking thing, even take life, because I feel like you have violated me to the utmost fucking degree. And now I got to give you back what you gave me, sometimes twice over. That's just how we are. So, you know, it's really one of those things. So I just back off, because I don't want to go off if somebody says the wrong thing or does the wrong thing. You know what I mean? So I try to like, what is this? How does the saying go? Be preventative instead of reactive, you know? So I just try to prevent shit before it becomes shit. And that's kind of what it was. And I need to have my space too. I really need to have my space like all the time. So I sat away, and in that time, I get to talk on the phone who I want to, text and shit. Is when I don't want to worry about me. So yeah, that was part of it. But while I was sitting there with those two other people, the thing that I'm speaking about, going back to you, like me being so temperamental and shit like that, and showing you how the people, the culture of the courtesy and civility of the actual people of London was incredible, because I was over here like in my own little zone, even though I had two people sitting next to me. And when the stewardess had come to give us the menu for whatever we wanted to eat, the man who was at the front of the first seat before you go into the aisle, because I was at the window, he took it from her and he literally passed it to each of us. And anytime we had to interact with the stewardess, the man, this is a white man now, he took the lead. Like, he passed the plates, he collected the trash, he did all the stuff for the women, and then he conveyed everything, answered questions that the staff of the plane was asking in reference to our seats. Like, he's like, the ladies are cold. They need two blankets, two pillows, and if you have any more slippers, please bring them slippers, because they have on shoes and their shoes will eventually, like, we didn't ask him to do this. This is just what he was doing on his own, right? So he did that. And then on top of that, when it was time to get up, he got up. He didn't get his bag. He stopped the other men from coming. He let us out. He got our bags down. And then he said, okay, ladies, thank you. Have a good day. We left. Then he got his stuff and he helped more women, as did the rest of the men behind him who were also on the plane. And I was just watching all of this because, like, it was like culture shock, because we in America, we don't come from a country where men truly show chivalry to women. Like, I'm in a country now, I'm in the UK, and men are opening doors for me, all men. All men. Like, anytime I'll get that. They open the doors, they close the doors behind you. When you get into the elevator, they're asking you what floor you're going to. They're pushing the floors for you. They're holding the door to make sure you get out without the elevator closing on you. They're picking up your baggage and they're carrying your stuff for you just so you can get where you're going. Let me tell you, we had the cab driver waiting downstairs, right? Because we were rushing to get to the airport. Remember I told you we took the jet to get back from France to London, and we ran upstairs to get the bags, and she's rushing to change, her and the baby. We rushing. We rush back out the hotel. The driver, he sees us coming. He jumps out the car. He runs to open the door for us from the hotel. Even though it was automatic ones, he's still rushing to open the door. He's rushing. Then he realizes, he's like, oh. Then he's grabbing bags from me, from her, and he's opening. He had one of those cars where you put your foot by the back of the bumper, and the what do they call it? The hatch in the back, it opens by itself. So he started immediately putting the bags in, and he kind of like struggled with one or two of them. This man from across the street who was standing at the bus stop ran across the street and started helping this man load our luggage into the trunk. Some random man. He like, oh, let me help you. He comes over, and they don't use that mate over there. I don't know who's doing that. Maybe it may be certain parts, but I never heard one person say mate. I don't know if it's an Australian thing or maybe another part of UK thing, but not one person said mate. But they would say friend or good evening or young lady, young whatever, right? So he came over, he helped the dude, helped the cab driver. Then we got in the car and everything, and they persistent, like, please put your belts on in the Uber. They don't want you to not. So we did all of that, and then we got to the airport, and again, he jumped out and he's like, "Let me get your bags," and da 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 da. And he's like, "Oh, ladies, have a very good flight. Thank you for all this stuff." He's really really nice. And I must say, I got a shout out to what's my man's name from Paris? Because he was the man too. Nikolai. Nikolai from Paris. I think he was Russian Parisian. He was the fucking man. Okay. He got us as fast as he could to where we had to go, and he did it safely. He also was like very pleasant in the trip. He had a lot of jokes. He was hilarious. He was a nice cab driver. He was really fun. He was a lot of fun. He really was. He was so fun. I remembered him. See, he was a lot of fun because that's another thing, y'all. When you go to Paris and go to Eiffel Tower, there's a part in the video I remember recording where I was telling my daughter-in-law, I said, "You be careful because now we getting ready to come to these hustlers." That, yo, these African dudes be in your face like this. "Oh, here, buy this, but you want this? I give it bargain. I give you this." Like, back up. We don't want it. We don't want it. They stand in your way trying to block you to walk, trying to get you to buy shit. It was ridiculous. So the Nikolai I'm telling you about, Nikolai, he sees this and we trying to move around the dude. So Nikolai is like yelling at him in French. "Hey, hey, let the ladies walk. Stop it, stop it." So he starts coming towards us, right? And he's like, "Let me help you. Let me help you." Right? So I'm handing him the bags and everything and walking towards him. And so he's telling the guys again, back off. You're smothering them. They're trying to get to the cab, right?" So it's freaking hilarious. This guy was really funny. He was really funny, but it was needed because it was like maybe another minute or two. I was gonna go, "Get the fuck out of my." It was coming. It was in the gut, bubbling up, coming through my chest, get through the throat, through the mouth. Cause I was like, man, these fucking guys. Cause last time I was there, I literally took the dude and was like, "Move," cause he would not get the fuck out of my face, and I'm like, "Man, I ain't trying to get in trouble here, but you better get the fuck away from me," So it's just like, beware of that, cause it is real out there. And the crazy shit is, I don't know. I guess it's like a thing that they do here too. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with those black dudes over there. Like, not those particular ones that hustle, right? Because it's like they can't get jobs because everywhere we went, we saw other ones working, right? But I guess it's that same fucked up mindset that too many of them have here, where they want every fucking thing handed to them. Like, when I think about all the dumb shit that has been happening in the last couple of months leading up to this election, people trying to kiss the ass of and cater to these black males who don't even want to work to do the minimal thing to get for themselves. Like, the shit is ridiculous. And I see that over there with those dudes that was hustling like that with their little sheet on the ground with all their little fucking shit nobody wants to buy. Like, how hard is it to go to school or get a job, however you get it? Get that one and then use that one to build yourself to get a better one. It's not. Women do that shit every fucking day. I just don't like those dudes over there doing that because they're so forceful. And that also speaks to their culture as African males because you see how, and this is my pet peeve that I have about these creators online, that's these African women creators and anybody, period, that's always making videos talking about black women and always having a critique about us. It's like your own males, because they're not men to me, right? Have an issue where they feel like they can do whatever they want when it comes to black women. And they don't even care if we're not African the way their women are. Like, they do it because he was doing it to me. And I think about at work, I had to tell this one black dude, I said, "Don't come in my office." And I said, "And I'm not fucking playing with you." And I really was speaking like this at work. And I said, because you're under the misunderstanding that you could do whatever you want to do because we have the similar skin tone. I said, but you ain't doing that shit here. Knock before you fucking come in, and I will let you know if I want you to come in. Don't just walk in here because you don't own or run shit over here, okay? So he's got an attitude. Oh well, it's like that, homie. Oh well is right. I don't give a fuck. You're not entitled to me because I'm black like you. You will stand the fuck over there and get treated the same fucking way everybody else does. I will acknowledge you and then give you the permission to either engage with me or enter my fucking space or let you know I'm not right now. Come back or I'm not doing that at all. You know? Like they be bugging. And I think about, even though what I'm saying is all over the place, I think about this shit when I interact with people and I watch how they fucking do things. Cause I was saying to myself, these motherfuckers only feel free. I was thinking this when I was getting ready to cuss this motherfucker out at the tower, right? I was saying he only feels free to jump in front of her face and mine with all this shit. Buy this, buy this, buy this. It's cause we black like them. He didn't do that shit to nobody else. Or if he did, I didn't see it, right? And I'm saying to myself, like, don't overstep. Don't be too fucking familiar and don't feel entitled to black women because you are not entitled to us. You're not. You're like every fucking body else in this world. You gotta ask permission, motherfucker. And 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna get it because you're very fucking disrespectful and you don't know how to approach black women with any respect. And I'm fed up to here with it. And I know I'm not the only one. So I know there's many other black women that feel the same way I do. Because I stopped. I'm like, what the hell? And that's when the little man made me laugh because he must have seen it coming. He was like, hey, you smothering the women. But anyway, it's just crazy. So besides those assholes and that area we were in, plan your trip where it is like a lot of tourist people, not so much ethnicities of other people, and have a good time. It's fucked up to say that, but it's true. Now, next time I go back, I'm gonna go to the black part where it's the black Caribbean people. I'm not even fucking with the black African people. I don't want to deal with them. I want to go see what the Jamaican people are doing over there, because I know the Jamaican people are gonna be turning shit up in London, so I want to see that. And that's all I'm interested in. I'm not interested in nothing else. Oh, I did want to mention before I go, because it's starting to get dark now and I got to cook and take my doggies out who literally missed me and were in a little bit of a depression till I came back. There's a movie I saw on the plane, right? It's called The Four Daughters. This is a movie about a mother and her four daughters from Tunisia, right? Please watch this movie if you get a chance. The reason that I was speaking earlier when I was making those saying those things about if you put me in Tunisia, you would know the difference. I used that country as an example because I had that movie still permeating in my head because, like most people in this world, right? And I'm telling you this story so that because of my visit to this country where culture, communication, engagement, and respect for your fellow human being was more stressed in this one country than I've ever seen in my entire life. And throughout all the other countries I've ever been to in my entire life, it gave me sort of not no epiphany and none of that, but just a different way to look at other women, since I'm always concerned with women, black women first and foremost, but women in general, because I am one of you, right? That movie, The Four Daughters, it gave me an insight to Muslim women that I never knew existed before. And in particular, Tunisian women, because they have a history of ancient African Muslim history, not the so-called Arabic Muslim, which is not really Arabic Muslim. It's actually from the Ottoman Empire. But anyway, who those people became Arabic as a result of. But anyway, not that. But it speaks to like the suppression of those women, the fight that lies within those women, the individual lives and histories of those women that make them who they are, and the societal forces and socialization of those women that turn them into different things. And when you watch that movie, The Four Daughters, it will really give you another point of view the very next time you ever hear anything about an attack in a Islamic state. It's going to give you a completely different point of reference where you're not going to look at it the way the American mindset works. I'm telling you, that movie won a lot of awards from, the Cannes Film Festival and others, but that movie was one of the best movies, a fully human movie that dealt with 100% all the emotions and ranges of emotions of a mother trying to save her daughters that she could not save. She saved two. The other two got taken from her. And I will kill the plot because I don't know how many of you will watch the movie, but I want you to, right? It's called The Four Daughters. And it is about a woman, a mom from Tunisia. Her two daughters, she still has all four of them. Two are at home with her and the other two are in prison. With the oldest daughter's grand. So the two daughters in jail. The oldest daughter had a daughter, so it's the mother's two daughters and her granddaughter that are in prison. Because in that country, children can do the jail term or time with their mom. So when they first arrested her, and America had bombed this country because of these two women and her husband, which is why this movie is so great. I never knew about this story. And when I saw this movie, it brought back the events that I was familiar with. But it brought me literally into the household of the mom of the two women whose husbands caused so much calamity in this world. So anyway, when you see this movie, it really is an eye opener, and I have a newfound respect for Muslim women. I really do. Like, this movie is so fucking powerful, it's crazy. But enough of that. If you ever get a chance to watch this movie, please watch it. It's called, thank you for the thumbs up. It's called The Four Daughters. When I tell you, you know how we always on here talking about, you guys always talking about, which I don't agree with that term, curse. Killing curses, generational curses. This movie is all about stopping indoctrinated, wrongfully taught generational behaviors. This mom only knew fighting, violence, you gotta see this fucking movie. And the one thing I can say about those Tunisian women, the love those girls had for their mother and the love the mother had for her girls is the only thing through all the stuff they suffered and endured kept those women together. Even to this day, like, the mother was so strong. I just love a strong mother. She fought her country. Do you know how hard that is for a Muslim Tunisian woman to fight her country? She fought her country for her daughters. She fought the police for her daughters. She fought an international fight, ended up on the news to fight for her daughters to stay alive, even if they do have to serve time. When I tell you this was like one of the most remarkable movies that I probably will never forget in my entire life, this was one of them. And shout out to whoever that woman is in Tunisia because she had a lot to suffer with. I mean, see the movie. See the movie. It's called The Four Daughters, right? It's beautiful. It has so much love in it. It is what you need in a world right now where everything is so violent and hate mongering and white people losing their minds like Donald Trump trying to make this about white supremacy. You need to see the existence of other brown people like yourself who go through shit in life but always fucking find a way to solve it, to deal with it, to live through it, to fucking conquer it. That was the most powerful thing about that movie. And one of these days, I'm going to go to Tunisia just to support the women there. Just, I don't care. I'll go visit, I'll spend my money, I'll go to the places where the women make things from hand, and I will spend or leave as much money as possible to help those women because they're, when you see this movie, you'll see what I mean. They're a special breed of women. Like, they just, they don't suffer in sorrow. They thrive through people trying to hold them down. They are so fucking resilient. It is crazy. I mean, they stick together like this too. Like the mom had to leave Tunisia. I think she had to go work in like Saudi Arabia or it was either Dubai. She had to go work somewhere, scrubbing fucking toilets because she couldn't make money in her own country. So the neighbors who lived next door to her, they fed her children, washed her children, watched her children while she was in the country, all the way somewhere else to make sure her kids were all right. She had to come back because, of course, whenever little girls have the introduction and the influence of some adolescent male, now the daughter doesn't want to listen to her mother no more. They want to get rebellious, and all this stuff was happening in this lady's life. And for me, I never knew little Muslim girls did all that type of shit. I thought that they were completely different from all other little girls and never rebelled and never talked back and always were very like submissive and religiously scared to death. Nope, nope. You got to see this movie. It was a really great movie. But anyway, I really wanted to have like a little question and answer, but people didn't want to do that. And I gotta tell y'all, I get offended with shit like that. Like if I say, let's have a little question and answer, I don't know why it's such a issue for you guys to give some feedback, like participate, but you could do it with everybody else. And it's just insulting. It does insult me. I just need y'all to know that. Because I figured I could answer questions because I can't think of everything. Because I'm only one person. So I can't think of everything. But I would like to have been able to help you do things in any more abundance that you can with any extra information I have to give you to help. And I do have to say, shout out to the women who were constantly in my comments while I was abroad, giving me nothing but positive feedback. I loved it. I saw you doing it, and there were quite a few other people. Thank you so very much for that, because it did put a smile on my face when, I had to argue about a ticket. And it put a smile on my face because I was saying, see, just because you get a little inconvenience, you got to look at the bigger picture. You got your women here who are positive, letting you know, yeah, that's a great thing. I love that for you. I love that for us. Keep going, keep going. And so all that positivity is sprinkled on me and penetrated my brain when I needed it to, when I was about to rage the fuck out because I couldn't get my way. You know, and I don't mean that in the adolescent sense. I mean that in the sense of I wanted to go home. I needed to get a ticket. I didn't want to buy another one, but I knew I had to do it anyway. So, and I've been here before. For those of you who was with me a year, when did I last go to Paris? I think it was in 22 when I got stuck in the airport. Remember that, y'all? When they overbooked the plane and I was fighting with the guy in the airport. It's just like, for those of you that were leaving me like well wishes, I needed them and I used every one of them. So thank you for that, okay? Because every time I thought like, oh my God, this shit can't get no worse. These people just won't get, like will not accommodate me. I would see like a little notification and I would take the time to read it and it would be like, "Oh, Stephanie." Da, da, da. And I was like, that's nice. That's what I needed. Thank you for that. So thank you guys cuz in some of my dark moments where, I wanted to become nasty and bitchy, you guys saved me. You put a smile on my face, which made the bad thought go away and a great one replace it. So be so cuz y'all are the best. All right? All right. So let me go upstairs. Let me go get my jasmine rice and get the fuck to cooking and get up and go to work tomorrow. I don't want to go to work, y'all. Who could come and take my place so I can stay in bed? And give me about 25 volunteers, please. I need to rotate y'all week after week. Come on, come on, come on. All right. Anyway, let me get upstairs. Let me go. But thank you guys very much. I enjoyed it. I'll speak to y'all soon. I'm gonna still be putting up my information and talking to y'all about this election. Guys, take this shit serious, okay? These racist white folks ain't playing. Do you know that I woke up and watched the news today and found out that Tennessee, the state of Tennessee, is the first state in America since I don't know when, because I can't remember the date now. They have allowed miscegenation laws back in 2024. Miscegenation laws are laws that will put your ass in jail if you marry interracially. This is all part of 2025.org. So for those of you that think Trump is somehow your boy and he's somehow on your side, think again, because him and all his cronies from the Heritage Foundation, the Koch brothers, and all the rest of them motherfuckers that think that white is right and everything else needs to be oppressed and suppressed and turned into a modern day slave, just know that they are fully forging ahead with trying to take away everybody's rights in this country. And they literally told you they were going to do it in Project 2025. They listed it. But you could stop them. You could stop them by making sure they don't get in office. And you can also stop them by making sure that the ones that are in office who are up for re-election don't win. So it's real simple. You don't vote for Republicans who are looking to get into office now, including and not limited to Donald Trump. Okay? And then the Republicans who are in office, replace them with all Democrats so that we could get rid of all this shit that they have put into law. We could get people who have the balls enough to get into office and retract all that shit and get rid of all those laws that they put in to take our rights away. That's how you do it, y'all. All right, I'll be back with more stuff because I think we have like what, 28 days or some shit like that. It's not a lot, or probably a little less than that. And make sure y'all pay attention to Roland Martin because he's the only one in black journalism, because he owns his own show, who's honestly giving you the real truth on the election. And he cusses while he does it. So he's very entertaining. Okay? All right. Bonsoir. Have a good fucking night. I'll see y'all next time. Peace out. See y'all later. I'm being a fool. But see y'all later for real. Good night.